Good morning, students. PG Senior Secondary School welcomes you in social science classes. Students, earlier I taught you first chapter, class 9 politics, first chapter, first part. Okay? And you were reading about the features of democracy. Okay? Next feature, let's see next feature of democracy. One person, one vote, and one value. In democratic form of the government, each and every persons have right to cast one vote and their value is one. Either official, any high grade official or any lower grade peon, both have equal right to cast one vote, single vote, and their value is also one. This is very remarkable. There are many countries where this system is not there, like Fiji. In Fiji, those who are indigenous Fiji, their value is more, their vote value is more, and those who are Indian Fiji, their vote value is less. Indian Fiji, their vote value is less. But in India, one person, one vote, one value, this system is there. It means there is universal adult franchisee. Universal adult franchisee. Universal adult franchisee means those who are 18 years or above 18 years, they have equal right to cast one vote and the value of their vote is 1. Either DM or PU, both have equal right to cast one vote and their value is 1. Okay? This is the very popular feature of a democratic government: one person, one value, and one vote. Each person casts one vote, and their value is 1. Next feature of democracy: rule of law and respect of rights. Rule of law and respect of and respects of rights. In democratic form of the government, there is a rule of law. Means each and everything is accordingly law. Whenever we elect the government is elected accordingly law. There is a proper system for electing the government. Accordingly, that proper system, government is elected. And government function, how the government function? Government function accordingly law. For that, jurisdiction is decided, area is decided, power is also decided. Okay, within their power and within their area, government have to function. It's clear? Government is elected accordingly law. Government function accordingly law. The organs of the government also function accordingly law. There is judiciary system. For judiciary system, different courts at state level, high court, civil court, supreme court, all have their own jurisdiction and they have to function within the law. Respect of rights. Next, respect of right. In democratic form of the government, there is respect of right. For this, some rights are given to the people. Some rights are given to the peoples and people exercise that rights. These rights are called fundamental rights. Fundamental rights. So people have some fundamental rights. They exercise some fundamental rights. Okay? Why these fundamental rights are given to the people in a democratic form of the government? These fundamental rights are given to the people in democratic form of the government to live their life, to enjoy their life. In the lack of this means proper way they can't live their life. Okay, like in Indian democracy, 6 fundamental rights are given to the people. Earlier 7 fundamental rights were given to the people, but now means right to property that has been abolished. Now 6 fundamental rights are there. Like this means in democratic form of the government, fundamental rights are given to the people. And it means there is respect of life, respect of rights. Okay, if anyone is violate the fundamental right, in that condition, he or she can be trial in the court. Okay, now let's read the demerits of democracy. Before reading demerits of democracy, let's read an example, okay, of rule of law and respect of life. Try to understand. There is rule of law and respect of right is there are not. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe means it got its independence in 1980. Okay. 1980 since 1980 there was single party, that was ZANU PF. This party struggled for independence in Zimbabwe, and after independence this party became ruling party, and Robert Mugabe became the president of Zimbabwe, and he ruled many years. So this party was dominant party in Zimbabwe. Each and everything controlled by this party. Dictatorship rule was there. Okay, like same like that means dictatorship rule was there. Many malpractices used by this political party. Can you say that there was true democracy? No, you can't say. Why? This country was unable to follow the feature of democracy. In democratic form of the government, there is rule of law and respect of rights. Next thing, let's read the demerits of democracy. Demerits of democracy. First demerits of democracy. First demerits of democracy is a government of majority. Government of majority. Actually, democracy is the government of majority. The government is formed by majority. Those who are major groups in the society, they involved in the forming the government. That's why the decisions are taken by the government for the welfare of the majority or for the promoting interest of majority. This is not good. This is not good. This creates inequality in the society. That's why this is not good in democratic form of the government. Next, demerits of democracy. It is expensive government. Democracy is expensive government. A lot of money is spent during election time. Whenever elections are conducted to form the government, during that time, huge amount of money spent. Okay, and after forming the government, whenever parliament ran in that condition, also for running the parliament, a huge amount of money spent. Okay, that's why we can say that it is expensive government. Democracy is expensive government. It is the government of rich, we can say that. In other words, you can say that democracy is the government of the rich, for the rich, by the rich. Of the rich. It is criticism of democracy of the rich, for the rich, and by the rich. Democracy is of the rich. To whom we elect? We elect to rich. Why? During election time, those who contest election, they have to spend a lot of money. So who can spend a lot of money for contesting election? Only rich person. So to whom we elect in democratic form of the government? We elect in democratic form of the government to rich person, for the rich. And whenever government is elected, in that condition, government function for the welfare of the rich. And by the rich, who elect the government? The rich person elect the government. This is the better criticism of the democracy. Democracy is of the rich, for the rich, and by the rich. Next, demerits of democracy. In democracy, there is unstable government. Unstable government. Unstable government. Democratic form of the government, there is unstable government. Actually, it is noticed that in democratic form of the government, there is multi-party system. Multi-party. Under the multi-party system, what happens? Various political parties are there, and these various political parties, they contest election to form the government. In this condition, what happened? No any political party is able to gain the majority. In that condition, coalition government is formed. Coalition government means various political party, two or more than two political party, they make their alliance and they form the government. Coalition government is formed, and coalition government is not a stable government, that is unstable government. Whenever any contrary in their thoughts, in that condition, the coalition members, one coalition member withdraw its support, in that condition government fall within the 5 years, within the certain interval of time, within the fixed means they are unable to complete their fixed period of time. Within that time, the government fall by withdrawal of the support of a member of the coalition. In this condition, we can say that democratic form of the government is unstable government. Next demerits of democracy. Next demerit of democracy is weaken national unity. Weaken national unity. National unity. Democratic government weaken national unity. Actually, in democratic form of the government, the political party or the leader, anyhow, they want to win election, they want to form the government. In this condition, what happened? They use fair or foul method to form the government. Fair or foul method means malpractices are used by them, and they try to weaken the national unity. In which way they weaken the national unity? They try to divide the society in various groups, in various castes, in various religion. On the basis of these castes, on the basis of these religion, they try to gain support of majority in the society. So on the basis of this, one side, they are dividing the society. Actually, for their own interest here, they are dividing the society on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion, and in this way, we can say that democracy weaken the national unity. It breaks the national unity. Next, let's read merits of democracy. First, government is based on will of people. In democratic form of the government is elected by the people, or government function on the will of people. Suppose that if government is formed, and after forming the government, any wrong decision is taken by the government. So in democratic form of the government, if any wrong decision is taken by the government, in that condition, people have power to protest in form of dharna, in form of rally, in form of hartal or they strike. Okay, they can protest against the government, Okay. So if any wrong decisions are taken by the government, in that condition many protests occur, okay, and government is forced to change the decision. If government is unable to change the decision in that condition, whenever election conducted in that condition, people have right to change the government, and generally people change the government. Ruling political party is not in the will not form the government. It is generally noticed. It's clear that government is on the will of the people in the democratic form of the government. Okay? Otherwise, people change the government. Welfare of all. Next, welfare of all. In democratic form of the government that is formed, that government function for the welfare of all, either richer section or weaker section. For both the government function, for both interest, government function. Means government promote the interest of all sections of society in democratic form of the government. For this task, many social welfare work are done by the government. For that means government opens schools for education, hospitals for health service. So like this means roads are constructed, infrastructures are developed. Like this means government function for the welfare of all, for each and every sections of our society. Either they are richer or they are weaker. Next, major things that democratic government is responsible government. Democratic government. Next merit is there. Responsible government. Democratic government is responsible government. Actually, we elect the leaders to form the government, and responsibility are directly taken by the leader. Suppose that if any railway minister is there, railway minister, if any railway minister is there and any accident occur, any accident occur in the railway, in that condition, responsibility of that accident is directly taken by the railway minister. We elect the leaders, and leaders of a particular department or ministers of particular department, they directly take responsibility for their work. Railway minister, is railway minister done any accident? No, accident is not done by railway minister, but he is taking here responsibility of that accident. So that's why we can say that responsibility are directly taken by the government. They bear the responsibility. The government that we elect, that government bears the responsibility. And in democratic form of the government, there is responsible government. Next, possibility of good law. Possibility of good laws. In democratic form of the government, there is the possibility of good laws. How there is the possibility of good law? It is only democracy where is a room to check the mistake. That room is the parliament. Okay? So in democratic form of the government, there is the possibility of good law. Let's try to understand by an example. Suppose that any wrong decisions are taken by the government, okay, that are against of any section of the society. In that condition, what would be happen? That group, they form their organization, and they begin to protest against that wrong decision, against the government, in form of strike, in form of dharna, in form of rally, in form of chakka jam or road blocking. In that condition, government is forced to reconsider on that particular law, and if possible, then after reconsideration, that particular law is changed. So it's clear that there is the possibility of good law. Whenever the government makes law, government keep it in its mind that if wrong decision, wrong law will be made by government or wrong decision will be taken by the government, so public will protest. Public will oppose the government. Okay, government have to face the oppose of the public. In that condition, whenever government makes law, government make good law. So there is the possibility of good law in democratic form of the government. Next, less possibility of revolution. Actually, when revolution occurs, whenever people dissatisfied by the government. In that condition, revolution occur. It is generally noticed that revolution occur in the monarchical form of the government or in dictatorship form of the government. But in democratic form of the government, there is less possibility of the revolution. Why? Government try to satisfy the peoples. In democratic form of the government, government make good laws. That's why there is the less possibility of revolution. And one more thing means in democratic form of the government, there is the power sharing. Power is shared among the various groups of society. Power is shared among various organs of the government, among the various levels of the government. So that's why, okay, that's why there is the less possibility of conflict. There is less possibility of the revolution. Okay. If any wrong decisions are taken by the government, justly I told you, means the public protest and government reconsider on that particular decision, and after reconsideration, sometimes government change that decision. That's why there is a less possibility of the revolution. Means you can say that democracy avoid the revolution. Based on liberty and fraternity. Actually, democracy totally based on liberty, fraternity, and equality. These are the basic or the fundamentals ideas that followed in each and every democratic government. Overall, let's discuss democracy is better or dictatorship or the monarchical government is better. Let's read. There are two types of the government. One, monarchical, and next, democracy. Two types of the government. Monarchical form of the government, there is a dictatorship, tongue of king, that is law. There is no any room for correction of decision. But in democratic form of the government, good decisions are taken by the government. Public welfare work is there. Okay, there are many fundamental rights given to the public to lead their life, to enjoy their life. So overall, if we will compare between monarchical system and democratic system, we will find that democracy is not fair, but we can say that this is better than other forms of government. Democracy is better than other forms of government. It's not complete perfect, but we can say that democracy, after means noticing all, we can say that democracy is better than other forms of government. Okay, now this chapter has been finished.